GCSE Physics Explained, and I'd like to tell you more about velocity time graphs. So in the last clip we've already found out that a velocity time graph, the gradient tells you the acceleration, because remember, acceleration is how much the velocity is changing divided by the amount of time that it takes for the change. Well, in this time I'm going to show you how to work out the distance travelled on a velocity time graph. Now I know what you're thinking. If it was a distance time graph, oh, you could just read it off the side. So this is a velocity time graph. Where on earth's distance? Well, distance is this area underneath the graph. And what I mean by that is underneath the line. So what you've got to do, ask yourself this question. If this gradient is going up as a steady slope, then this area under here is simply going to be a triangle. And how do you get the area of a triangle? It's just simply a half times by the base times by the height. So in this case, the distance travelled for this vehicle would be a half times by 20 times by 10. And that would come out as 100 metres. What about this one? So this is for a car where it's going at a steady speed as opposed to a steady acceleration. So this one's even easier because it's basically the area under the graph is just a rectangle. And you know, to get the area of a rectangle, you just do the base and times it by the height. So 30 times by 20 just come out as 600 metres. So here we go. Sometimes these shapes can be a little bit more complicated. This is a journey for a car or whatever where it's going at a steady acceleration because the velocity is steadily increasing because the slope is steady, and then after 5 seconds basically the car is travelling at a steady velocity. So you can see there's zero acceleration because the graph has gone flat, like I told you in the last video. So the distance travelled, have the confidence to be able to split that shape up into two shapes. So first of all it's a triangle and then it's a square. And once you've got that, it's easy. So the total distance travelled would be area A plus area B. Area A is clearly a triangle, so that's a half times by the base. So what's the base of the triangle? From 0 to 5. And what's the height of the triangle? It goes from 0 up to 10. So that's 10. So when you do that, that's 25. Now you've got to add that to the area of the square, but be careful. The base of the square is not 20 because the square didn't start until 5. So it's from 5 to 20, so the base is 15, and multiply that by the height, which is 10. So there we go, 15 times by 10, that's the base, times by the height, that's 150. Now add them together, 175 metres. And sometimes you can end up with a very strange looking shape like that or like that, but just have the confidence to creatively split that unusual shape up into two simple shapes, or in this case 3 simple shapes. But just be mindful of, like A here for example, it doesn't start until 10, and let's just say it was to finish at 15, then the height would simply be from 10 to 15, which would be 5, and then whatever that is, the base would be from there to there. Okay, and that is how to take care of that. Thank you very much.